More than 185 people have been killed and some 400 injured in explosions at churches and hotels in Sri Lanka. In the last few minutes, reports have come in of another blast close to the capital, Colombo. Previously, 6 explosions had been reported in Colombo, as well as the town of Negombo and Batikaloa in the east of the country. The earlier explosions went off simultaneously. A church in Colombo was one of the buildings hit. Other targets were 5-star hotels. More than 30 foreigners are reported to be among the dead. Sri Lanka's Prime Minister has convened his top military officials in an emergency meeting to coordinate a response to the blasts. He denounced the attacks on Twitter, posting, "I strongly condemn the cowardly attacks on our people today. I call upon all Sri Lankans during this tragic time to remain united and strong. Please avoid propagating unverified reports and speculation. The government is taking immediate steps to contain the situation." For more details on this developing story, I'm joined now by Asanga Abeyagunasekera, head of the Institute of National Security Studies in Colombo, Sri Lanka. Mr. Abeyagunasekera, we're getting reports about another blast in or near Colombo. Do you have any information on that?
Yes, it was just reported a few minutes ago in a place called Dehiwala, which is just closer to Colombo. Apparently two have been succumbed to death, and this is the 7th blast that took place within the course of the day today. And my prayers for the victims and their families. So it's a very difficult moment in Sri Lanka.
You witnessed one of the attacks today. You were inside one of the targeted hotels when it all happened. Could you tell us about what you saw?
I was in the Shangri-La Hotel, and so my family and we were there. We were waiting to celebrate Easter, to have some breakfast with some friends, Christian friends. But the blast went off at around 8:35 or so, and this was actually targeting the restaurant on the 3rd floor, where everybody was having breakfast, I think. So this is where the main blast went off. So we witnessed many victims, and we used the staircase to come out. And then there were so many victims, and there were foreigners who was there, and it was a very sad sight to see, and we witnessed it. And there was 2 actually blasts actually in the Shangri-La. So there was 2 songs, and it was quite and a lot of we got the military assistance immediately. I would say, because the military headquarters is right next to the Shangri-La, and there was assistance from military officers who was there, and they actually immediately ran in. While we were walking out of the building, the military was running into the building to help.
Glad to hear you safe. And what do we know about the other sites targeted?
Well, they mainly targeted the Christian worship sites. If you look at it, the St. Anthony's Church is one of the most popular sites where Christians come. And they come from faraway villages also to St. Anthony's Church. And then this is a place of worship where the Christians get together. And also many sites in Negombo targeting. So if you look at the targeted sites, are mostly not Christian sites. And this is quite sad, because this is the day that we're celebrating Easter. And if you look at the past attacks on such a day, in the Easter Day, you could refer to Pakistan, the 27th March 2016 attack in Lahore, which took place again targeting the Christians, attacking. There were so many, 340 odd who were injured in Pakistan. So it's quite sad that this sort of there's not been a single incident ever since we have eradicated the terrorism in 2009 May, and this May will be for 10 years of eradicating terrorism. So this was the single incident that took place in the 10 years time. And this is quite sad to see. And actually, our intelligence and our Institute of National Security Studies, we have highlighted there are threats from various extremist groups, which we have identified. From 2017 March, we have been sort of informing in our threat forecast. There is possible threats from various extremist groups. And this may be, we are still under basically analyzing the information and also doing finding out what went wrong. So the investigations have been carried out, and I will not be able to comment who was behind it, but there are, I would say, close relationship to certain attacks in other parts of the world also. And Sri Lanka is also a target. I mean, if you look at Paris and many other places, New Zealand. So Sri Lanka is also a place now being targeted. So, and this is very unfortunate.
Police actually say that foreign intelligence agencies warned them about plans for an attack 10 days ago. Could this have been avoided?
There is a report circulating, a letter circulating in the social media, but then we need to look into that information, because I will not be able to comment on that, because we don't have clearly verified information on that particular letter which was sent to the police. But if you look at it generally, from 2017, our intelligence have identified there are threats. But ever since, I think, after winning the war and all that, Sri Lanka has been celebrating much on a peaceful society, and we've been sort of, I mean, our military intelligence need to be strengthened much more. And because what has happened in the last 10 years, if you look at it, there's been many threats in the global arena also from many extremist groups. And so Sri Lanka, we cannot discount Sri Lanka, saying that the Sri Lanka is not vulnerable. And we have identified, and then so the military intelligence need to be strengthened, and people, I think, tolerance to other ethnic and religious groups are necessary in this, because what they try to do is to spread disinformation and misinformation in the media, trying to create hatred among our religious groups. Sri Lanka is a place where a lot of respect is given to other religious groups as well as other ethnic groups, and we need to work towards that. And the religious leaders and everybody will be actually working towards that.
You're saying you have identified extremist groups and that extremism is on the rise in Sri Lanka. What's the reason for that, you think?
Well, if you look at it, ever since the post-war, there has been, from the 2015 government, which was appointed, soon after, so there was many changes done to the military establishments, and there were many post-war. If you look at it, certain like demilitarizations, there have been certain Western nations have been requesting us to demilitarize and reduce security and all that. They don't understand the threat that we have as a nation. And we have been fighting terrorism for 30 years, and this is a long time. And so I think one should understand from the Sri Lankan side that, although the requests have been going on to demilitarize and also to reduce intelligence operation, but it shouldn't be that case. Now it's very clear that we should strengthen our military intelligence, and because we have to protect our people, and this is something that we have to do. And if you look at a few months ago, detonators were found in the Vilpattu area, that is on the west coast. And then, so these are actually things that we cannot ignore. And this is serious issues that certain Islamic military Islamic groups have been sort of, we have identified them, and our intelligence are really good of identifying them. And so I don't know. I cannot comment the relationship right now. So because the investigations are going on right now.
Only 7% of Sri Lanka's population are Christian. You've said, of course, that this is the worst violence in the country since the end of the Civil War 10 years ago. Have there been other attacks against this religious minority in the past?
No, I mean, for the last 10 years, there's not been an incident as this. I mean, there's not been bomb blasts as well as all that. But there has been several incidents on religious, attacking religious places and all, but not taking lives, and also not attacking, not bomb blasts and that sort of thing. But government of Sri Lanka has been promoting religious harmony and reconciliation soon after the war, and there has been great efforts done on this particular area. But there are individual cells. They are linked to different extremist groups, and our intelligence are actually monitoring them very carefully. And we cannot come to a conclusion right now because the investigations are right now going on. And as you can see, a few minutes ago also there was a bomb blast. So I think we will be able to conclude something from all these attacks. And they are organized. They're targeted to Christian community in most of the sites, and so we'll be able to sort of find the perpetrators, and we will definitely find, because Sri Lanka is a very strong nation with our intelligence groups who have fought. We've been working with one of the worst terrorist groups. We've been fighting them, so we will find them, and we will definitely put them behind us, and we will take the necessary actions against them.
Arsanga Abeya Gunasekera from Colombo, thanks for your analysis.